Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. So excited to have my guy, Mr. Carlos Malave, on with us. Great guy. Man, blessed and fortunate to do some really neat things and making a huge difference in our world. I'm so thankful to have him on to highlight him and his journey. So first, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
I appreciate you for having me, man. It's a pleasure. I met you through a mutual friend, and you're good. We spoke on the phone one time, and I got a good vibe, and I love working with good people. So any way I can help, man.
That's good, man. I love to hear you say that phrase. First off, thanks for the kind words, but I love to hear you say that phrase, man. Where I'm from, they used to say growing up, man, he good people, you know? And so, man, it's always good to be around good people, man, because I think good people add value to your life, and I think you're good people too, and excited to have you on, excited to learn and grow with you as well on some things we've discussed. So let's dive into it. You know, when we talked off air and we talked, the first couple times, we talked about your journey, some of those neat things that you've been blessed and fortunate to achieve. But if you don't mind, share some of that with the audience so they have an idea of who you are and what it is you do.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, my name is Carlos J. Malave. I'm a curriculum expert and educational consultant with a decade of hands-on experience within schools and developing transformative programs and helping coach people being able to do the same and create impact on a larger scale within schools and organizations across the world and internationally.
It's awesome, man. Track your journey a little bit, man. I know we talked about like where you grew up. Talk about some of that and kind of to how you got to literally where you are now.
Gotcha.
Talk about some of that.
Yeah, so you can hear the accent. I'm not originally from Texas, but I live in Houston, Texas right now. But I was born and raised in New York, Brooklyn, and then did Long Island for high school, and went to college upstate New York. So I did a lot of my time in New York. I moved out here about 9 years ago when my daughter was one, Houston, Texas, that is, and been loving it ever since. So I've been in education for over 13 years, where I was teaching all different subjects, I implemented my curriculum at a KIPP school and a couple schools in New York City and in Abu Dhabi. I was a restorative justice coordinator. I did a bunch of different positions within the schools. And with that, I was building my speaking career. And while I was building my speaking career and in education, I was always trying to fill the gaps in front of me, right? And try to create more impact. So the first thing I did was write a book. I thought it could be more impactful to have a tool to give to schools and students. I wrote it while I was a seminar teacher at Yes Prep out here in Texas, and I kind of used my students to, build something. So I wanted to build some motivation for them to read, see someone like them that can do it, so give them inspiration and motivation, and then, told them, hey, what do you think about this with this chapter? So I got feedback from them and built it for them. And then, as I'm offering it to other schools, I saw that something else could be done. So I was trying to find other ways to become more impactful and supportive to schools, and I started working on curriculum. And that's where I was offered an opportunity to be a restorative justice coordinator at a KIPP campus back in 2018, 2019. And I was offered to teach one class a day, and they said, do what you want. So I called it the Restorative Power class. And I aligned it to ELA standards and Common Core standards. I made it measurable with assessments and projects, and I taught them radical candor skills, conflict resolution skills, circle leading skills, Then I gave them duties on campus. Did pretty well, and it was phenomenal. I enjoyed the process. We ended up getting a feature on ABC News,
Mm,
13 out here in Texas. And then I was using my network to get them to do presentations at other schools in the neighborhood as well. And then on January 10th, 2019, my father committed suicide. And my father was a product of the school to prison pipeline. So what I do with restorative practices hit another level, right? So because I was everything that I was preaching for years and trying to help students develop and schools develop, I had to use it to save my own life. So
mm,
I was able to finish off the year. And then my wife was like, take some time to process your father's passing. It was pretty dramatic and traumatic. My father had jumped in front of the L train in New York City. And I had missed this call before he jumped. So he
mm,
was trying to get me to convince. So there was a lot of processing, a lot of work that had to be done within me internally to, not take all the blame and the guilt behind that, and take those skills that I was teaching kids to deal with conflict and conversations that needed to be had with family members and friends that I've been holding off on. So my wife saw I was working through that, and I started therapy, and then she was like, hey, take the year, finish off this year and take the year to build what you have. And I had a curriculum sitting there, and I was like, let me see what I could do with this and offer it to other schools that I've been speaking at. And within 3 months, I sold it for 15,000. Then I sold it for 25,000. Then I sold it for 30,000. The next following years, I had a mentor, Rel Moody, who was my speaker coach over the years, and he saw what I was doing. He's like, "You did what? You ever thought about coaching?" And then he got me on a webinar. We developed a course, and in 2020, people jumped on a webinar, and then 13 people signed up for my first curriculum program in 2020, and I've been coaching ever since. And I've helped clients in total sales make over $1 million in curriculum sales. We're ranging from $15,000 deals to $300,000 deals in curriculum sales. So I've been doing that and speaking and implementing curriculum across the country for a while. So that's where it came from. That's where the passion comes
yeah.
from. That's what I've been doing.
So good. Well, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
What I'm proud of is one, finding and building a bond with my wife. That's the first one. Uh, Second one is focusing on creating a good childhood for my daughter. And the third one is walking the walk and being the man that I perceive to be. Finding ways to, over the years, to, be the person that I am today in all aspects of my life, as a friend, as a father, as a husband, as a person, as a man, just not be this person that looks a certain way on social media and not that person in real life. And I
Hmm.
built a lot of alignment in my life since my dad's passing, and cut out all the nonsense and dancing around situations, and be direct. And no, by no means am I perfect, but I am willing to go there
Yeah.
and conversations and be who I say I am.
So good, man. Well, just hearing you talk about the things that you've been blessed to accomplish and grow through in your life, the things that you're proud of, I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's
Thank you.
let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
That's a good question. I think success, it depends on what your goals are. I think for me, at a point, to be successful, I had to be the most known person in my space, and as a speaker, as a curriculum developer, but it's leaning heavily more on what the people that are closest to me think about me when I'm not around. What does my daughter say about me? What does my wife say about me when I'm not around them? And I think that's the most important thing for me, and that's what makes me successful. What the people closest to me that see me on a daily basis and don't see all the shine and the glimmer and all the glam and all that people see me all over with on social media and all that. But people that are closest to me, what they say about me and what they think about me and how they feel about me is what makes me successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, man. That's great stuff. What I want to do now is just, if you don't mind, I want to throw maybe some words or phrases out at you. And if you don't mind, just talk about what comes to mind or to heart when
Yeah,
you hear these words or phrases. You okay with that?
absolutely.
All right, so let's go. The first phrase, let's go with living and learning.
Ooh,
Come
I
on.
think living and learning. I think you can't do one without the other. I think for me, it's all been a learning process. I think that I learned very young that the smartest person in the world is the one that continues to ask questions, no matter how old they are. So I am the type of person that is always learning from anybody I meet. And so I would ask all the questions. I would engage in conversations, and I feel like there's something I can learn from anybody and anywhere, right? And like I listen. I work on my listening skills since I was a young little boy. So I think living and learning is very important. That never stops, no matter how old you get. I think that's what keeps you young. That's what keeps you lively, and that's what keeps life keep going for you. I've been around old people all my life, and I've seen people thrive with this method, and then I've seen the opposite of it. I have family members and I have people that I've been around that get that old age, and it's like they stop the learning, and therefore the growth stops, the joy stops, the you know sickness starts coming around, and or sickness comes and they can't get out of it, right? Because of that mentality. So I think when you live, you can learn every day, and that never
Yeah.
stops. So I think those things go hand in hand.
Okay. All right. Let's go with making adjustments.
Woo!
Come
I
on.
think it's constant. I think
Yeah.
you gotta constantly make adjustments. For example, I'll give you a little story. My when I first when I first met my wife, right? We were friends for like a couple years, and we really got to know each other. And she was just someone I wanted to be around, whether it was to be with her or learn how to be with someone like her. That was my mentality, right? So I was willing to make that adjustment and learn from her. And I remember one thing with learning about conflict, there was an experience that I had with her that kind of changed everything, got the ball rolling. I remember we were joking and we were hanging out and joking and laughing, and I had said the F word, right? Like not like in a horrible way, but just joking, like F you, blah, blah. And we still laughing, and mid laugh, she stopped, stop the conversation, look me dead in the eye, and told me, don't ever feel comfortable cursing at me when we're good. Because if you curse at me when we're good, you're going to build a reputation of you cursing at me all the time. And then when you bad, we're not going to be the type of friends, a couple in the street cursing at each other, this and that. Get it, got it good. And she switched the topic and kept moving. Like nothing ever happened. It like jabbed me in the throat. And I had to make an adjustment. And I remember it hit me as like, people are so afraid of having that 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes of discomfort to address something that doesn't make you that you're not okay with, that they let keep going on because of that one moment. I didn't curse at her for 10 years after that. And it was just because she made that stand to allow me to make the adjustment. Like it's necessary for you to go there. Those adjustments can't be made if you don't address them when they happen. When you get that first moment of discomfort, when you get that, oh, don't call me that, or why is that person acting like this? Address it, right?
Mhm.
Because at the beginning, if they see what you're okay with, they're gonna keep doing it, right? And if you address it, and they want to be around you, they're gonna address right away. And I adjusted. So that's something I know that was a different type of way of going about it, but that's something that hit my mind when you said that.
No, that's good. I mean, I think that's you can go deeper in that too, because I mean that could be relationships, that could be communication,
Mm.
that could be respect, that could be, marriage counseling. I mean, that could be that could
Yeah.
be everything. But the the ultimate underlying thing is that, we all have to make adjustments for the people that we love and care for.
100%.
which could also lead to sacrifices,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So the last word I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna pause a little bit before I give you this one, and then I'm gonna lean in and say, "Hey, this the good one right here. This the good one." the
Ready. I'm
last one, the last one I'm gonna give you is legacy.
Oh, that's a good
Mm,
one. I've been thinking
yeah,
about that for a while. Um, it's tough because you want to leave so much behind, and we get caught on like leaving money behind, and that's important, like setting up life insurance and all that. But I think legacy is all about memories and the way you make people feel while you're here, when in your presence. I think we need to focus on that more, right? Because at the end of the day, when a person leaves and they leave you, you know, for example, money and you're well off, that helps in certain aspects. But the memories, like if you weren't there present, right, and you're gone, that's what's going to be remembered more. So being present and engaging with the people you love, not just saying I'm working to provide a certain lifestyle that you're not even a part of 100%. So I've been really focused on trying to, I got lost in it. I'm talking from experience. So I got lost in it
yeah,
trying to career, trying to become
yeah.
successful. And by no means am I saying I'm perfect. I'm just talking about what I'm working on and what I've been working on, right, on a consistent basis. Legacy is all about the memories and the way you made people feel. So I want to leave memories for my daughter. I want to leave memories for my wife. I want to leave memories for my family members, right? That when I leave, that's what they go off of, right? More than anything.
Man, just hearing you talk about your answers, I think it all ties together, right?
Yeah.
So I think we have to live and learn so that we, have a life where we're able to make adjustments in our life and continue to make adjustments. And what that allows us to do, it allows us to uh, leave, but more so live a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, man, just hearing your answers, man, I just was thinking, man, it's all tied together.
I'm happy you say that because a lot of what I do is alignment. I try to
Yeah.
build a lot of alignment in my life.
Hmm.
Get to that answer that I said earlier, like I'm trying to really be who I say I am. So
Yeah.
do in all aspects of my business. When I speak, I touch on the same things that I do when I consult organizations about implementation of curriculum. And then I
Hmm.
talk a lot of the same stuff with the clients that I help build their own curriculum off of those two other things that I do. So I try to build a lot of alignment. And going back to what I speak about and what I help consult with, it's a lot of the stuff that had to save my life. With my relationships and those conflict resolution skills and those diving in and being present and resolving things through conversations with
Yeah.
people may be uncomfortable. So it's just a reminder. So I really lean into that because the work that I do reminds me of who I need to be.
Come on. Yeah, it goes back. It's a cycle,
Yeah,
right? It's a
100%.
continued cycle. Well, as we close, I'd love for you to get an opportunity to share with the audience, about the products that you offer, where they can go, check you out and show you some love with all the amazing things you have going on.
Absolutely. So I'm very present on social media. That's where Chip found me as well.
Hmm.
From a mutual friend. Social media handles CJ Motivation on Instagram, and everywhere else is Carlos J Malave. Just make sure you put that J in between the Carlos, and I'll pop up more than anybody else. So that's where you can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. But on Instagram is CJ Motivation. And if you want to find all my stuff that I do, it's on my website, CJ Motivation. Now, I offer speaking, I do workshops, I do keynotes, I do all that within K to 12 colleges and also corporate organizations. I implement curriculum in all those spaces as well and internationally. With curriculum, I help organizations be able to do that work that I talked about with restorative power on a holistic way. So the curriculum helps me help teachers be able to do it in their classrooms on a longer term basis than just me coming in and giving motivation. It's more about I teach them and I coach them to do that, and then the teachers run with the curriculum and continue the work to build those relationships with the staff and students, and then hopefully take it home and practice it themselves. And then with my curriculum coaching is the curriculum translation program, because I meet people where they're at, educational leaders, speakers, consultants, or people that are interested in building curriculum. I meet you where you're at and I translate your message into a curriculum. So whether you have educational background or you have a PhD and work in universities, I've worked with everyone on the spectrum. And I help you take your message, put it in a format that speaks the language of education, and be able to implement it on a holistic level, creating unit plans, creating lesson plans, and giving you the stuff that makes you look familiar. Because people pay for two things. Organizations and schools pay for two things: people that are specific to what they do, and then people that are familiar to what they have. Right. So I help you become familiar in this world of education that gets you sold. I've worked with people that have curriculum and couldn't sell it. And I've worked with people that had no curriculum, had no idea. And I help them be able to put something out there that could get them marketable and get them paid as well. I'm very passionate about it. When my father passed, as I said earlier, I was trying to, get on the right path, and my wife, put us on the debt-free journey. And I said that after I took that year off and I started selling my curriculum, we were on that journey of erasing debt, and it helped me and my wife become debt-free. We paid off $126,000 in student loan debt and car note debt and all that, and using the method of implementing curriculum and services within schools, we were able to knock it out in a year and a half. And now it's given me an opportunity to live a different lifestyle and focus on what's most important, the people in my life and those relationships that I need to build. And I want to help people get there as well. So that's the purpose behind my curriculum translation program. And you can find that all on my website, CJ Motivation. And I post about it on social media as CJ Motivation, and also everywhere else, LinkedIn and Facebook as well.
Well, there it is. Carlos, man, thank you so much again for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Truly appreciate it. And I wish you continued success.
Same here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.